The eagle is an enduring symbol, not because of its strength or its ability to dominate, but because of its perspective. To embody the mindset of an eagle is to step into a way of being that sees beyond the immediate, that understands the world not as a collection of separate parts, but as a vast, interconnected whole. The eagle doesn't simply fly, it soars. And when it soars, it is not escaping the world, it is embracing it, seeing it in its fullness and from a height that reveals patterns invisible from the ground. To adopt the mindset of an eagle is to cultivate this perspective. It is to rise above the fray of daily life, not to abandon it, but to understand it. The struggles, the noise, the petty conflicts that seem so important when you're mired in them, these all appear differently when viewed from above. They are no longer obstacles but lessons. They are no longer threats but opportunities to grow. The eagle does not see a storm as an adversary. Instead, it uses the winds of the storm to rise higher. The storm, then, is not an obstacle, it is a partner in its ascent. The courage to rise above challenges and see the bigger picture is not merely an act of bravery, but an invitation to transcend the immediate and glimpse the infinite. Life as it unfolds often presents us with circumstances that seem insurmountable. These moments, however, are the very fabric of growth. They demand more than reaction, they call for a deeper, more intentional response. To rise above challenges is to detach from the allure of the immediate struggle and recognize that every obstacle is part of a grander pattern. This perspective transforms hardships from barriers into stepping stones, each one designed to elevate us to new heights. Imagine the eagle soaring high above the earth, its wings spread wide, navigating currents invisible to those below. The eagle does not resist the wind, it uses it. Similarly, life's challenges are not meant to be fought against in a manner that drains us, but to be engaged with in a way that propels us. This requires courage, for to rise above is to leave behind the familiar, the comfortable narratives that bind us to our limited understanding. It is to acknowledge that the immediate, however pressing it may feel, is not the totality of existence. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. It is a quiet strength, a resolve that whispers, there is more to this moment than what meets the eye. In rising above challenges, we are not merely escaping difficulty, we are transcending the limitations they impose on our vision. To see the bigger picture is to understand that life is not a series of isolated incidents, but a continuous flow, each experience interconnected with the next. Challenges, when viewed from this elevated perspective, lose their power to overwhelm and instead become threads in the tapestry of our evolution. This process begins within. It requires a shift in focus, a deliberate choice to step back and observe rather than react. To do so is to embrace the unknown, to trust that beyond the immediate struggle lies a purpose that may not yet be visible. It is an act of faith, not in a traditional sense, but in the profound belief that life, in all its complexity, is unfolding exactly as it should. This belief does not negate the pain or difficulty of the moment, but places it within a context that imbues it with meaning. The eagle's perspective is one of detachment, not disinterest. It sees the ground below not as a place of escape, but as part of a larger whole. In rising above, it does not abandon its connection to the earth, but enhances its relationship with it. Likewise, to rise above challenges does not mean to ignore them or pretend they do not exist. It means to engage with them from a place of strength, guided by the understanding that every challenge carries within it the seed of growth. The courage to rise above is also a recognition of our own power. It is a reminder that we are not victims of circumstance, but participants in the dance of existence. Each challenge is an invitation to step more fully into ourselves, to discover depths of resilience and creativity we may not have known were there. It is a call to trust our wings, to believe in our ability to navigate the winds of life. To see the bigger picture is to step into a space of greater awareness. It is to recognize that life is vast, its horizons stretching far beyond what we can see. From this vantage point, the significance of our struggles shifts. They are no longer the center of our world, but part of a larger narrative. This shift in perspective does not diminish their importance, but places them within a context that allows us to engage with them more effectively. Trusting your instincts to navigate the winds of uncertainty requires a delicate balance between action and stillness. Instincts are not mere impulses, they are the voice of deep, unspoken wisdom, the echo of countless experiences and lessons embedded within us. In moments of uncertainty, they serve as a guide, an anchor in the storm of the unknown. To trust them is to listen not with the ears but with the soul, to move not from fear, but from a place of inner alignment. Life is by its nature uncertain. The winds shift, paths diverge, and what once seemed clear can suddenly become obscured. In such moments, the mind often seeks to impose order, to grasp for certainty where there is none. Yet the beauty of uncertainty is that it holds within it the potential for discovery. To navigate these winds is not to fight against them, but to move with them, trusting that each shift, each change is part of a larger design. Instincts are the eagle's wings, carrying it through the sky with grace and precision. They do not question the wind, but respond to it, adjusting and adapting with each current. Similarly, our instincts are attuned to the flow of life, capable of guiding us even when the path ahead is unclear. To trust them is to let go of the need to control, and instead embrace the art of responding. It is an act of surrender, not in the sense of giving up, but in the sense of giving in to the rhythm of existence. This trust is not blind, it is grounded in a deep understanding of ourselves. It is the recognition that within us lies a wellspring of wisdom, a compass that points us toward our true north. Yet this compass does not always offer clear directions. It often speaks in whispers, subtle nudges that require stillness and attention to hear. In the noise of uncertainty, it is easy to overlook these signals, to doubt their validity. But to trust is to quiet the noise, to create space for these whispers to be heard. The winds of uncertainty are not something to fear. They are a natural part of life's ebb and flow, a reminder the only constant is change. To navigate them requires not rigidity but flexibility, not resistance but openness. It is to move with the currents, trusting that they will carry us where we need to go. This trust does not come easily. It requires a willingness to let go of our need for control, to step into the unknown with courage and faith. In trusting our instincts, we align ourselves with the flow of life. We become like the eagle, not separate from the winds, but a part of them, moving with a grace that comes from harmony, rather than force. This alignment does not mean that the path will always be smooth or that the destination will always be clear. But it does mean that we will move forward with a sense of purpose and direction, guided by the quiet wisdom within us. Embracing solitude is not about isolating oneself from the world, but about finding a connection that goes beyond the superficial. Solitude is often misunderstood in our fast-paced world, which glorifies constant interaction, productivity, and external validation. Yet within solitude lies an immense power, a chance to meet oneself without the distractions and noise of everyday life. It is here, in the quiet, that we can uncover truths that are often obscured by the chatter of the mind and the demands of society. To embrace solitude is to accept the silence not as an emptiness to be filled, but as a space to be explored. The mind, accustomed to constant stimulation, may resist this stillness at first. It may reach out for distractions, conjure fears, or replay old patterns. But if we remain present, if we allow ourselves to sit with the discomfort, we begin to notice something remarkable. The silence begins to speak, not in words, but in a language that transcends them. It whispers truths about who we are, about what we value, about the deeper currents of life that run beneath the surface. This process requires courage. Solitude can feel daunting, even overwhelming, especially when we are accustomed to seeking comfort in external sources. But true comfort, the kind that nourishes the soul, can only be found within. To embrace solitude is to turn inward, to face oneself without judgment, without pretense. It is to acknowledge the parts of ourselves we may have ignored or forgotten. This is not an act of indulgence, but one of profound self-awareness. It is through this awareness that we begin to understand our place in the world, not as separate from it, but as an integral part of it. In solitude, we find clarity. The noise of the world fades, and what remains is the essence of who we are. It is here that we can reflect, not in a way that dwells on the past, but in a way that seeks to understand it. Reflection in solitude is not about replaying all wounds or regrets, but about seeing them with new eyes, about understanding their role in shaping the person we have become. It is a process of integration, of bringing together the fragmented parts of ourselves into a coherent whole. This clarity is not static, it is dynamic, ever evolving. As we sit in solitude, we begin to notice patterns, not just in our thoughts, but in the way we move through life. We become aware of the stories we tell ourselves, the beliefs we hold, the fears that drive us. And in this awareness, we find the freedom to choose differently. Solitude gives us the space to rewrite these narratives, to let go of what no longer serves us, and to embrace what aligns with our true nature. The beauty of solitude is that it connects us paradoxically to the world around us. In the stillness, we begin to notice the subtleties of life, the rustling of leaves, the play of light on water, the rhythm of our own breath. These moments of connection remind us that we are not isolated beings, but part of a greater whole. Solitude allows us to experience this interconnectedness in a way that is intimate and profound. It is not about withdrawing from the world, but about engaging with it more deeply, more authentically. Through solitude, we cultivate resilience. In the quiet, we come to realize that we are enough, that our worth is not determined by external validation, but by our own sense of self. This realization is not an act of ego, but one of humility. It is an acknowledgement of our own humanity, of our strengths and vulnerabilities, of the light and shadow within us. It is through this acceptance that we find the strength to face life's challenges with grace and equanimity. Solitude teaches us to listen, not just to the world around us, but to ourselves. In the stillness, we hear the whispers of our intuition, the quiet voice that often gets drowned out in the noise of daily life. This voice, when we learn to trust it, becomes a guide, leading us toward choices that are aligned with our true nature. It is in solitude that we learn to distinguish this voice from the chatter of the mind, to hear it clearly and follow it with confidence. The path of solitude is not one of loneliness, but a profound connection. It is a journey inward, not to escape the world, but to engage with it more deeply. In solitude, we find the strength to face ourselves, the clarity to understand our path, and the courage to walk it. It is a practice, not a destination, a way of being that invites us to meet life with openness and authenticity. Recognizing your inner strength is not about denying vulnerability, but about embracing it as an integral part of your being. Strength is often misunderstood as an absence of fear, weakness, or doubt. Yet true strength lies not in the suppression of these feelings, but in the ability to face them with honesty and compassion. It is in acknowledging our material humanity in all its complexity that we discover the depth of our resilience. To recognize your inner strength is to see yourself not as a fixed entity, but as a dynamic, ever-evolving process. Life, with its challenges and uncertainties, is not something to be endured, but something to be engaged with fully. Each experience, no matter how difficult, carries within it the seed of growth. The strength is not about avoiding pain or difficulty, but about finding the courage to move through them, to embrace the lessons they offer. This recognition begins with self-awareness. To know your strength, you must first be willing to see yourself clearly, without judgment or pretense. This requires a willingness to sit with yourself, to listen to the quiet voice within that often gets drowned out in the noise of daily life. It is a process of peeling back the layers of conditioning and expectation to uncover the essence of who you are. In this process, you may encounter aspects of yourself that you find difficult to accept. Doubts, fears, and insecurities may arise, but these are not signs of weakness. They are part of your humanity, and in facing them, you find your strength. Strength is not about being unbreakable, but about being open, about allowing yourself to feel deeply and to move forward despite the challenges. Inner strength is not something you acquire, it is something you uncover. It is already within you, waiting to be recognized. It is in the way you show up for yourself and others, in the way you choose to keep going even when the path is unclear. It is in the quiet moments of resilience, in the decisions you make every day to live authentically and with integrity. To recognize your inner strength is to trust yourself. It is to believe in your ability to navigate the uncertainties of life, not because you have all the answers, but because you have the capacity to find them. This trust is not blind. It is grounded in the knowledge of your own experiences, in the challenges you have faced, and the ways you have grown through them. Strength is not about independence, it is about interdependence. It is in recognizing that you are not alone, that your strength is supported by the connections you have with others. These connections are not a source of weakness, but of power. They remind you that you are part of something greater, that your strength is not just for yourself, but for the collective. In recognizing your inner strength, you also recognize your ability to create change. Strength is not passive, it is active, dynamic, and creative. It is the force that allows you to take risks, to step into the unknown, to create a life that is aligned with your values and aspirations. It is the courage to dream and the determination to make those dreams a reality. The strength is not a destination, it is a way of being. It is a practice, a daily commitment to yourself and your growth. It is in the way you meet life's challenges, in the way you show up for yourself and others, in the way you choose to live authentically and with purpose. Recognizing your inner strength is not about becoming someone else, it is about becoming more fully yourself. To recognize your purpose is to see beyond the noise of everyday life, beyond the distractions that constantly vie for your attention. The world is full of suggestions, advice, expectations, demands telling you who to be, what to do, how to measure your worth. But your purpose is not found in these external forces. It is found deep within. It is a quiet knowing, a feeling that you carry inside you, often waiting to be noticed, nurtured, and honored. Purpose is not something that can be given to you by others. It is not a goal or a job or a title. These are all external markers, often subject to the whims of time and circumstance. True purpose, however, is something much deeper. It is the essence of who you are, the reason you exist in this moment, in this body, on this planet. It is the thread that runs through your life, binding your experiences, your choices, and your actions into something meaningful. At the core of recognizing your purpose is an invitation to look inward, to ask yourself the questions that truly matter. What do I care about? What brings me joy? What makes me feel alive? These are not questions to be answered quickly or easily. They require time, space, and patience. You must be willing to sit in the discomfort of uncertainty, to allow yourself to explore without the need for immediate results. In doing so, you may uncover answers that surprise you, that challenge the assumptions you have made about yourself and the world around you. Finding your purpose does not mean you must have a grand, world-changing vision. It can be as simple as living in alignment with your values and the things that bring you fulfillment. It may mean creating something beautiful, helping others, or finding peace in the quiet moments of everyday life. Purpose is personal and unique to each individual. What fulfills one person may not fulfill another. This is not a problem, but rather the beauty of being human. Each of us is a different expression of the same life force, and each of us has something to contribute to the world in our own way. Purpose is not static. It evolves as you do. What you find fulfilling today may not be what fulfills you tomorrow. This fluidity is natural and part of the process of growth. As you change, your purpose may shift or deepen. This does not mean you are lost, but that you are living authentically, responding to the unfolding of life with openness and curiosity. To recognize your purpose is to trust the journey, to know that each step, each experience is part of the larger picture. Purpose can sometimes feel elusive, especially in times of struggle or confusion. When life seems uncertain, it is easy to question why things are happening or whether you are on the right path. In these moments, it is important to remember that purpose is not always something that can be clearly defined or easily seen. It often reveals itself in the small, quiet moments of daily life, the times when you are present, when you are doing something because it brings you joy, or when you are serving others from a place of love and compassion. These are the moments where purpose begins to take shape. To recognize your purpose, you must also be willing to embrace the fullness of your humanity, including the struggles and challenges you face. It is easy to think that purpose is only about success or happiness, but it is equally about facing adversity with courage and resilience. When you are able to accept the difficulties as part of the journey, you open yourself up to a deeper understanding of your purpose. Challenges are not obstacles to your purpose, they are an integral part of it, offering you the opportunities to grow, learn, and refine your understanding of who you are. The process of recognizing your purpose often involves letting go of preconceived notions of what you think it should look like. It requires an openness to explore, to fail, and to try again. Your purpose is not something you achieve or complete, but something you live, something that unfolds as you continue to show up and engage with life in an authentic way. It is in the doing, in the being, that purpose is found. Recognizing your purpose is also about understanding that you are part of something much larger than yourself. You are not an isolated being trying to find meaning in an indifferent universe. You are interconnected with all things, and your purpose is woven into the fabric of the world around you. It is through relationships, through the work you do, through the choices you make, that you contribute to the greater whole. When you live in alignment with your purpose, you are not only fulfilling your own potential, but also contributing to the collective well-being of the world. In recognizing your purpose, you also recognize your power. You realize that you have the ability to shape your life, to create meaning, and to make a difference in the world. This recognition is liberating, for it frees you from the constraints of external expectations and opens you to the possibility of living authentically. It gives you the confidence to pursue what truly matters to you without fear or doubt. Purpose becomes a guiding light, a source of direction and clarity when the path seems unclear. It is important to understand that the journey to recognizing your purpose is not a linear one. There will be moments of doubt, moments of questioning, moments when you feel lost or uncertain. This is part of the process. You are not meant to have all the answers at once, nor are you meant to be perfect. The journey itself is the purpose. It is in the searching, the exploring, and the evolving that you come to understand who you are and why you are here. The key to recognizing your purpose is presence. It is in being fully engaged with your life, in being aware of the choices you make, and in responding to the call of your heart. Purpose is not something you have to chase after. It is something you discover by living authentically, by following the path that calls to you with courage and conviction. The more you align yourself with your true self, the more your purpose will reveal itself. And in this revelation you will find peace, fulfillment, and a deeper connection to the world around you. To accept your worthiness is to recognize that you are deserving of love, joy, and all the blessings life has to offer. It is an acknowledgement that by simply being, you are enough. The world often conditions us to seek external validation, to prove ourselves worthy through achievements, accomplishments. But true worthiness comes from within. It is not dependent on what you do or what others think of you. It is inherent in your existence, in your very being. To accept your worthiness is to let go of the need to earn approval. You do not have to prove your value by meeting someone else's expectations or by comparing yourself to others. You are worthy because you exist, because you are a unique expression of life itself. This worthiness does not depend on external circumstances, nor is it tied to your success or failure. It is a constant, a truth that remains even when the world around you changes. When you accept your worthiness, you begin to free yourself from the pressure to be perfect. Perfection is an illusion, a fleeting concept that only leads to frustration and self-doubt. There is no need to strive for an idealized version of yourself, for the truth is that you are already whole. You are worthy as you are in your imperfection, in your humanity. To accept your worthiness is to embrace the fullness of who you are, with all of your strengths and vulnerabilities. It is to see yourself with compassion, to forgive yourself for the mistakes you have made, and to honor the person you are becoming. Accepting your worthiness also means accepting the love that is available to you. Love is not something that you must earn or prove your worth for. It is already here, in abundance, waiting for you to open your heart to it. When you accept your worthiness, you are better able to receive love from others and from yourself. You stop questioning whether you deserve it and begin to simply allow it to flow into your life. This acceptance also extends to your relationship with the world around you. When you recognize your worthiness, you begin to see the world as a place of abundance, where you are capable of creating, contributing, and living fully. You no longer feel like an outsider, separate from the flow of life. Instead, you understand that you are an integral part of it, worthy of experiencing all the joys and challenges it has to offer. The process of accepting your worthiness is not a one-time event, but an ongoing journey. It requires patience, self-compassion, and the willingness to let go of limiting beliefs and negative self-talk. It is a practice, a daily commitment to seeing yourself with kindness and understanding. With each step, you grow in your ability to accept yourself fully, to honor your inherent worth, and to live a life that reflects the beauty and potential that resides within you. When you accept your worthiness, you open yourself up to the possibility of living a life that is aligned with your true desires, not one based on external expectations. You stop living for others and begin to live for yourself, trusting that by honoring your own needs, you will naturally contribute to the well-being of others. This acceptance gives you the freedom to pursue your passions, to follow your heart, and to create a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. Your worthiness is not contingent on what you do, but on who you are. It is a recognition that you are deserving of all that life has to offer, simply because you exist. Accepting this worthiness is an act of self-love, a deep acknowledgement of your inherent value. It is in this acceptance that you find true peace, happiness, and fulfillment. Embracing uncertainty is to acknowledge that life in its essence is unpredictable. It is a journey filled with twists, turns, and moments that defy our expectations. In a world that often seeks control and certainty, the ability to accept and even welcome the unknown becomes a profound act of courage. The natural inclination for most is to resist uncertainty, to try to map out every step, predict every outcome, and create a sense of security. But in doing so, we often miss the richness and spontaneity that life has to offer. Uncertainty is not something to fear, it is a vital part of the human experience. It is in the spaces of not knowing that growth occurs, that creativity flourishes, and that new opportunities arise. When we embrace uncertainty, we open ourselves to possibilities that we may never have considered. Life is not meant to be a straight line, but a winding path, where each twist and turn offers a chance to learn, to adapt, and to evolve. The fear of uncertainty often stems from the mind's desire for stability and predictability. The mind creates stories about the future, projecting worst-case scenarios and outcomes that may never come to pass. This can lead to anxiety, hesitation, and a reluctance to step into the unknown. But the truth is, no matter how much we plan or prepare, the future remains inherently uncertain. Control is an illusion, a construct that gives us a false sense of security. To embrace uncertainty is to release the need for control and to trust in the unfolding of life. When we resist uncertainty, we place limits on ourselves and our potential. We cling to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves us, out of fear of what lies beyond. This resistance can prevent us from taking risks, pursuing our dreams, or making changes that could lead to greater fulfillment. Embracing uncertainty, on the other hand, requires a willingness to step into the unknown, to take a leap of faith, and to trust that whatever happens, we have the inner resources to navigate it. Uncertainty is where life's magic happens. It is where we discover our resilience, our creativity, and our ability to adapt. When we let go of the need to have all the answers, we create space for new experiences, ideas, and connections to emerge. We learn to approach life with a sense of curiosity, seeing challenges as opportunities and setbacks as stepping stones. This perspective allows us to move through life with greater ease and openness, unburdened by the weight of expectations and fears. To embrace uncertainty is not to deny the reality of fear or discomfort, but to recognize that these feelings are part of the process. It is about finding the courage to move forward despite the fear, knowing that growth often requires us to step outside of our comfort zones. It is in these moments of discomfort that we discover our strength, our resilience, and our capacity for change. Life itself is uncertain, and this uncertainty is what makes it beautiful. Each day is a new beginning, a chance to explore, to learn, and to grow. The unpredictability of life is what gives it its richness and depth. When we accept this truth, we free ourselves from the need to control every aspect of our lives and instead learn to flow with the rhythms of existence. We become more present, more aware, and more alive. Embracing uncertainty also involves a deep trust in ourselves and in the process of life. It is a recognition that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way, even when the path is unclear. This trust allows us to let go of the need for certainty and to instead focus on the present moment, where life is truly lived. It is in the present that we find our strength, our clarity, and our ability to respond to life's challenges with grace and wisdom. When we embrace uncertainty, we also open ourselves to the possibility of transformation. The unknown is where change happens, where old patterns are broken, and where new possibilities are born. It is in the spaces of uncertainty that we have the opportunity to redefine ourselves, to let go of what no longer serves us, and to step into a new way of being. This transformation is not always easy, but it is always worth it. It is through the process of embracing uncertainty that we grow into the fullest expression of who we are. To embrace uncertainty is to live fully, to engage with life in all its complexity and predictability. It is to let go of the need for guarantees and instead trust in the journey. This trust does not mean that we will always get what we want or that life will always be easy. But it does mean that we will be open to the lessons, the opportunities, and the beauty that life has to offer. It is in this openness that we find true freedom, a freedom that comes not from certainty but from the ability to navigate the unknown with grace and courage. To find joy in the process is to shift our focus from the destination to the journey itself. It is to recognize that life is not about reaching a specific goal or achieving a certain status, but about the experiences, the moments, and the connections that make up the journey. Joy is not something that can be postponed until we reach a certain milestone. It is something that can be found in the here and now, in the simple act of being. The pursuit of joy is often overshadowed by the pressure to achieve, to succeed, and to constantly strive for more. But when we place all our happiness in the future, we miss the beauty and richness of the present moment. Joy is not found in the end result, but in the process of living, in the small, everyday moments that make up our lives. It is in the laughter of a friend, the warmth of the sun on our skin, or the satisfaction of a job well done. These moments may seem insignificant, but they are where joy resides. Finding joy in the process requires a shift in perspective. It is about letting go of the need for perfection and instead embracing the imperfections and unpredictability of life. It is about finding beauty in the journey, even when it is messy or challenging. This does not mean that we should not have goals or aspirations, but that we should not tie our happiness solely to their achievement. True joy comes from appreciating the journey, from finding meaning and purpose in the process itself. Joy is not something that can be forced or manufactured. It is something that arises naturally when we are fully present and engaged in the moment. When we let go of the need to control or force outcomes, we create space for joy to enter our lives. It is in this space that we can truly appreciate the process with all its ups and downs, its triumphs and challenges. Joy is not the absence of difficulty, but the ability to find beauty and meaning in the midst of it. The process of life is where growth happens, where relationships are built, and where memories are made. It is where we discover who we are and what we are capable of. When we focus solely on the destination, we miss the richness of the journey, the lessons to be learned, and the moments to be cherished. Finding joy in the process is about being present, about savoring each moment and finding gratitude in the experience of living. Joy is also found in the act of creating, in the process of bringing something new into existence. Whether it is a piece of art, a relationship, or a new way of thinking, the act of creating inherently joyful. It is not about the end result, but about the act of creation itself, the flow of ideas and the expression of who we are. This joy is not dependent on external validation or approval. It is a deep, internal satisfaction that comes from being true to ourselves and our passions. Finding joy in the process also means embracing the challenges and difficulties that come with it. These moments are not obstacles to joy, but opportunities to grow, to learn, and to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. It is through these challenges that we build resilience, strength, and a deeper appreciation for the moments of joy and ease. Joy is not about avoiding pain or difficulty, but about finding meaning and purpose in all aspects of life. The power of staying calm in the face of adversity is an often underestimated force. When challenges arise, when life seems to push against you, the instinct may be to react immediately, to fight back, to panic or to retreat. Yet in these moments of tension, there lies an incredible opportunity for transformation and clarity. The human mind in its natural state is often predisposed to respond with heightened emotions. But it is in the stillness and calmness that true insight and strength emerge. The ability to stay calm is not just a matter of external behavior. It is an inner strength that, once cultivated, can alter the course of your life. When faced with difficulty, the immediate reaction is often a rush of anxiety, frustration, or even anger. These emotions, while natural, are often impulsive and do not lead to constructive outcomes. When we act without thinking, without pausing to reflect, we may make decisions based on fear, which only perpetuate the cycle of stress. However, when we consciously choose to remain calm, we open ourselves to a different approach. This calmness does not mean detachment or indifference. It is not about suppressing emotions or pretending that challenges don't exist. Rather, it is about choosing to respond thoughtfully, with presence and awareness instead of reacting mindlessly. The essence of staying calm lies in understanding the impermanence of all things. Everything in life is in a state of flux, constantly changing and evolving. No moment, no circumstance, no challenge lasts forever. When we recognize that adversity, like all experiences, is temporary, we gain a profound sense of perspective. What once seemed overwhelming now becomes a part of the natural ebb and flow of life. By remaining calm, we align ourselves with the natural rhythm of existence, moving with it rather than against it. The calm person is not unaffected by life's challenges. Instead, they understand that their response to those challenges is what shapes their experience. Cultivating calmness requires practice, patience, and self-awareness. It is not something that comes naturally to most people. In a world that values speed, urgency, and constant motion, learning to slow down can seem counterintuitive. However, when we slow down, we create space for clarity. In this space, we can see the situation more clearly, make more informed decisions, and act with greater precision. The key is not to deny the emotional currents that arise, but to notice them without becoming swept away by them. When emotions arise, we have the power to observe them, to acknowledge them, and then to choose how to respond. One way to cultivate calmness is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying full attention to the present moment, without judgment. It is about observing your thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations without becoming entangled in them. Through mindfulness, you can develop a deeper understanding of your inner landscape, noticing patterns of thought and behavior that contribute to stress. As you practice mindfulness, you learn to recognize the signs of rising tension before they spiral out of control. This awareness allows you to intervene in the moment and shift your response. With consistent practice, mindfulness becomes a tool that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and poise. Another aspect of staying calm in adversity is emotional regulation. This involves recognizing and managing your emotional responses in a way that does not let them dictate your actions. It is easy to be swept away by strong emotions, but when we take the time to pause and reflect, we can decide how best to act. This pause is often all that is needed to break the cycle of reactivity and create space for a more measured response. By taking a step back, you give yourself the opportunity to evaluate the situation from a place of clarity and perspective. This space allows you to act with intention rather than impulse. Staying calm also requires letting go of the need for control. Life is inherently unpredictable, and many of the challenges we face are beyond our control. The more we resist this uncertainty, the more stress and frustration we invite into our lives. But when we let go of the need to control every aspect of our experience, we free ourselves from the tension that comes with it. We learn to surrender to the flow of life, trusting that even in moments of difficulty, we are exactly where we need to be. This trust allows us to remain calm, knowing that we have the inner resources to handle whatever comes our way. The power of staying calm in adversity extends beyond just the personal realm. It has a profound impact on those around us. When we remain calm in the face of challenges, we create a sense of stability and reassurance for others. Our calmness can be a source of strength for those who may be struggling, providing a model of how to navigate life's ups and downs with resilience and grace. In relationships, maintaining calmness fosters open communication, empathy, and understanding. When we react impulsively, it can escalate conflicts and create distance between us and others. But when we respond with calmness, we create a safe space for constructive dialogue and resolution. Ultimately, the power of staying calm in adversity is not about avoiding or denying the difficulties of life. It is about developing the inner strength to face them with clarity, presence, and grace. By cultivating this inner calm, we unlock the potential to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and effectiveness. We learn that we are not defined by the difficulties we face, but by how we choose to respond to them. In the quiet moments of calm, we find the strength to move forward, to learn, and to grow. When we are able to stay calm in the face of adversity, we open ourselves to the possibility of transformation. Challenges become opportunities for growth, and obstacles become stepping stones on the path to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. By embracing the power of calm, we create space for healing, learning, and evolving. In this way, adversity becomes not something to fear or avoid, but a catalyst for personal and collective transformation. Understanding that everything changes, that nothing is permanent, is one of the most liberating insights a person can have. It frees you from the illusion that things will always be the way they are now, and it releases the pressure to make things stay the same. Life is a constant dance of ebb and flow, where every experience, whether good or bad, is part of a larger, ever-evolving process. The problem arises when we cling to something, when we try to hold on to a moment, a person, or an idea, believing that this is the key to our happiness or stability. In doing so, we resist the natural flow of life. The truth is that resistance to change only creates suffering. It is in accepting change that we align ourselves with the natural rhythm of life. This does not mean that we passively accept everything that happens to us. Rather, it means that we acknowledge the impermanence of all things and embrace the freedom that comes with this knowledge. When you understand that change is inevitable, you stop fighting it. You stop clinging to the past, fearing the future, or trying to make things stay the same. Instead, you allow yourself to flow with life, adapting to whatever comes your way. One of the key aspects of living in harmony with change is developing a mindset of flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and the more rigid we are in our thinking, the more difficult it becomes to adapt. Flexibility is not about being passive or indecisive. It is about being open to new possibilities and adjusting your course when needed. Flexibility allows you to respond to the changing circumstances of life with ease rather than frustration. It is a way of living that acknowledges that there is no one fixed path, and that sometimes the best way forward is to adjust your direction based on the circumstances. The fear of change often stems from the belief that we need things to remain stable in order to feel safe or secure. But security does not come from the external world. It comes from within. When you trust yourself, when you trust that you have the ability to handle whatever comes your way, you are no longer dependent on external circumstances to provide you with a sense of security. You can move through life with confidence, knowing that you have the inner strength to navigate whatever changes may come. This trust allows you to embrace the unknown, to step into the future with openness and curiosity, rather than fear and resistance. As you embrace change, you begin to notice the beauty that comes with it. Change is the catalyst for growth, creativity, and renewal. Without change, life would stagnate, and we would never have the opportunity to evolve. Every moment of change carries the potential for transformation, for new beginnings, and for the discovery of new aspects of ourselves. It is in change that we discover our true potential and our capacity for growth. By learning to welcome change, you invite a deeper sense of purpose and meaning into your life. Change becomes not something to fear, but something to embrace as an essential part of the human experience.